Hey everyone, this is Soraya from Twin Flames Universe, and this is your collective energy reading for the week of January 27th through February 2nd. Last week, as you guys know, was all about unconditional love, really going into a deeper place of unconditional love. And this week is all about living without limits. And what does that mean? That doesn't mean that every limit is thrown out the window all at once. It's a process, right? It's a journey of healing that we're going through to release these expectations, these demands, these ways that we're controlling ourselves, these ideas that we have of how we should be and how we shouldn't be, and these fears that we have associated with the way that we are, and really looking at those and really healing those one by one as we go through, as God directs. But that's really the energy of this week, is about claiming our power, about becoming more empowered. It's about realizing that these thoughts and these feelings that we've had, that we need to hold ourselves back in some way, or we need to limit ourselves in some way, or even this fear of who we are, this fear of how we do things or where we're at on our spiritual journey, these judgments that we have toward ourselves. It's like this reel that just keeps going. And so what we're really getting into this week is really looking at those thoughts and beliefs and those patterns that we have that are causing us to feel afraid, causing us to feel afraid of ourselves, causing us to doubt ourselves, causing us to not fully claim our power and fully claim who we are, so that we can then show up 100% and not have that apprehension and that fear that's kind of like, oh. And what this really comes down to is kind of what I just mentioned. It's really about the fact that there's places inside of us where we are afraid of ourselves. We're afraid that we are not enough. We're afraid that we don't have enough. We're afraid that we're not where we need to be, that we are not, we are the obstacle that we're facing every day, that we need to improve ourselves, that we need to change ourselves, that we need to fix ourselves in some way. All of these ideas, it's like this oppressive voice that we have in our head. These ideas of, I should do this, I shouldn't do this, it's bad for me to be this way, I ought to be this way. And these judgments that we hold on ourselves, it takes a lot of energy around the clock to have these ideas. And really what we're getting into this week is just really seeing that clearly for what it actually is. And it's really just fear. It's just a place in us that needs love. And we're not meant to live with those fears. We're meant to be free and to feel liberated, to be able to express ourselves completely and fully, and to not doubt ourselves. Imagine what it would be like to live your life with no fear of yourself, to just live in the moment, to be able to just be, to have no question about it, no fear, no concern about it, to have no doubt, self-doubt about how you are or what your expectations are or how you should be to get your good. And instead, all of that is gone. All of that has just been loved away. All those fears and all that upset has been loved away. And all there is just you and God and life in this moment and just being who you are. And there's no energy going into thinking about that, making judgments about that. It's just about being with yourself. That's a powerful state, because that is when we are with love, and love is power. And instead of identifying with that fear and these self-concepts that are by nature a self-concept, being a concept is limited. As a child of God, you're not meant to be limited. You're one with God. Whatever is within you should be able to flow freely and have no limitations on it, because God doesn't have limitations on him. And so we were not created to have self-concept, to have this idea of how we should be or this idea of how we shouldn't be. All of that is just self-created. It's just these judgments that we've created ourselves and that we fuel with these fears. And we can just let that go with love, with the mirror exercise as we move through. Love the part of us that is afraid. That's really kind of where God is leading us right now. Love the part of you that is feeling like it needs to second guess yourself. It needs to hold back. It needs to doubt. It needs to refrain. All of those things are really just about making you play small and not allowing you to experience the fullness of your divinity. And so this week is really just about God kind of showing us our wings in many ways, showing us what we're capable of, showing us where we can step into if we will just open ourselves to it. And so we're just loving ourselves on that journey. We're loving the part of us that is afraid, that's causing all of these thoughts and these feelings that are coming up for us. And then coming to a place where it just doesn't matter anymore. And all we want is freedom and love and peace within ourselves. And we don't want to hold ourselves back anymore because we don't see any point. There's no shame, there's no guilt associated with that. We are finally loving and accepting ourselves completely. This is really kind of like a part 2 of last week. Last week we were really looking at this concept of unconditional love, and now it's like we're really moving into, what does this look like practically to fully accept ourselves all the time, to no longer have these ideas and these thoughts that hold us back. And so it's a beautiful time. We're just really pulling in deeper into what we were learning last week. And the energy is just one of, introspection, of course, but it's also just a time of clarity. It's a time of really understanding, like, oh wow, like I have been thinking thoughts that's made me apprehensive on my journey. Being on this path, it's a lot of introspection. Doing spiritual work, it's a lot of looking within. But really, what is the attitude that we have about looking within? Are we doing this to try to fix a problem that we think we have within us? Are we trying to resolve something in us that we need to fix to get to a better place? Or do we feel like we're climbing some mountain and there's this huge journey we have to go through, and one day we'll reach it, one day we'll get to the destination, one day we'll get to our good, and in the meantime we're just a slave to that process? Or do we realize that there's nothing actually keeping us from love right now, that we can actually just be with love now, and the only thing that's stopping us is our willingness, our unwillingness to just love ourselves in this moment, to accept ourselves in this moment, to decide that we don't need to give our power away and we don't need to play small, and we can have it all right now because we give it to ourselves. And so that is the gist in many ways of what Jeff and Shalia teach, of course. But this is really kind of the aspect of it that we're tapping into right now, all about empowerment, all about letting go of the limitations that we put on ourselves, looking at the prison that we've kept ourselves in, seeing the walls, seeing what they're made of, and loving ourselves there, allowing ourselves to finally break free from some of those old limiting beliefs. And so yeah, that's the energy this week. The biggest takeaway is just to take it in, be compassionate with yourself. This is huge. As we're seeing this, we're seeing all of these thoughts and feelings. It's our not accepting, our unwillingness to love this part of us that's causing it, and this resistance is really perpetuating it. And so the biggest thing is to just be compassionate with yourself. It's okay that you're afraid. It's okay that your life might not be what you want it to be right now. It's okay that you might not feel or experience on the inside what you want to feel and experience on the inside right now. Everything is okay, and it's safe to love yourself now. It's safe to take all your power back from all these expectations you had on yourself, and instead to just love yourself now and to be free now. And so, yeah, I will see you guys next week for another energy reading, of course. I hope you guys have a great week this week. I hope you guys just enjoy God, enjoy yourselves. Really just trust God with this process and this journey that you're on. Make sure that you like and subscribe this video if you did enjoy it, of course. We do have so many videos on this channel, as I say every week, so definitely make sure that you subscribe so you can stay in the loop with everything here at Twin Flames Universe, all the amazing content and readings that you get every week that are just here to support you on your journey. Everybody needs some support, so it's here for you. So you claim it. Go ahead and subscribe below, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.